And welcome to a short balancing practice to improve our balance. Such a great skill to keep, particularly as we age. This is a skill that we become more aware of the fact that we've got to work on it. So let's do that today. So why don't we take just a nice deep breath in together, raising the arms up, and then a breath out. Let's just do that one more time. Feel free to sigh the breath out too. Always feels so good. Big breath in. And a big sigh out. Fantastic. So let's begin from the feet. What we can think about with balancing is each foot being like a little tripod. So we think about 3 points in that tripod in each foot. So we've got it at the base of the big toe, the base of the little toe, and the center of the heel. So you might even want to touch those points. So we've got those 3 points on each foot. So you might want to spread your toes, relax your toes, and just as you shift your weight around, can you just then come to a point after you've moved around a little bit of feeling the weight evenly distributed on those 3 points, that little tripod of support in each foot. So that's a great foundation for good balance. And the weight shifts, and that's really normal and healthy. But then we can, when we're feeling a little bit overbalanced or like we're going to fall, we can come back to those 3 points of support. Something else that we can use is the breath. Let's take one hand onto the lower abdomen and one sort of around the lower rib cage. So the inhale, maybe unlock the knees. Inhale, the spine feels like it's getting longer. And on the exhale, start to feel that area below the navel strengthen. And this core strength is another key part of our balance. Inhale long in the spine, like the rib cage is lifting up out of the hips. And then exhale into strength in the lower abdomen. So let's have a bit of a play with that into a nice moving balance. Let's take a step out to the left with the left foot and take your belly button, which is the balance point of the body, over the left big toe and see if you might like to raise the right knee. It doesn't matter if you wobble, that's all part of improving your balance. Then take the right leg out to the side. You can take the step as big or as small as you like, and then take the left knee up. Let's just keep the arms relaxed for a moment. Nice wide step to the side. Belly button over the big toe that you're standing on, and the knee comes up. Doesn't have to be high, just do what works for you. Let's take an inhale across. Exhale, tone the abdomen, lift the knee. Now, if you want, let's get the brain working. Imagine that there's a string attached from the left hand to the right knee, and as the right knee comes up, the left arm lifts. A little bit of contralateral movement, opposite arm to leg. Great for the brain, gets the shoulders moving. Just feel that movement, the body, the breath, and notice the little shuffles in the foot. That's a really good thing that your feet and ankles have that sort of agility. So don't worry about wobbling. Inhaling and down. Let's make this the last one of this little sequence. Inhaling. Just let the arm come down, let the leg come down, and just, you can sway and move the hips a little bit, move the head a little bit. There's tension, sometimes we build up tension a little bit when we balance, so just some fluid movements that don't really look like yoga can be really helpful. And then we'll just come to a nice standing position. So another key component for balance is these outer hips. So let's give them a tap, because this part of the body, for some of us, can go to sleep. So this actually helps us just to connect in. A little tap feels nice too, gets circulation moving. And then let's use those muscles in the next little sequence. So let's take the weight onto the left foot, remembering that little tripod of support, base of the big toe, base of the little toe, middle of the heel. And then take the right knee up, and let's do this little movement where we slump into the left hip, feel the muscles stretch and they're not working, and then exhale, draw the muscles in and see how that brings you back. Let's do that a couple of times. Inhale, slump, don't overdo it, particularly if you've got any hip pain. Exhale, coming up. And if it's a bit much with this foot in the air, just bring the big toe down. One more time, slumping, and then engage and draw it in. Now, let's start to do some circles. This is where it gets a bit... Moving balances are much more challenging than just static, when we're not moving. So these are pretty challenging, but they're great functional movements. Let's reverse the direction. And you could put your hand here on a table, a chair, a wall, to work your way up to some of this. So then, that's the right knee we're circling. Do you want to take it? Let's try tree balance, such a favourite. Big toe down into a little kickstand, if you like. Lower leg below the knee, or if you do it higher in your practice, do that, but we don't want to put pressure on the knee. Find the breath. How's that little tripod of support in the left foot? Maybe take the hands, let's go into a lotus, so beautiful, with the little fingers and the thumbs touching. You might feel like you want to raise that up. Just notice the little shifts of the weight. Relax the shoulders. Maybe another couple of breaths. You can always come out sooner if you need to. Feeling those outer hips moving in, the waist long. Let's bring that lotus back to the heart and step the foot down. Little shakes. Especially for that standing leg. It's incredible how hard the standing or the supporting leg works. So let's try all of that on the other side. Weight now into the right foot, finding that tripod of support, base of big toe, base of little toe, center of the heel. You can keep the big toe down if you like, or lift the knee. Let's do that little slumping movement, waking up the outer right hip. Inhale, slump. Exhale, draw it in. I always think about like I've got my washing basket when I have or a baby on the hip, this kind of movement, and then draw it in. One more time. Inhale, slump the hip, then draw it back in. Okay, so we've woken those muscles up here. They're engaged, they're supporting our hips and our back and our balance. And then let's start to do those knee circles. Keep the breath flowing. Often when we balance, we can sometimes hold the breath and get a bit tense. It just takes practice to start to feel more at ease in these movements. When you feel ready, reverse the direction. It's absolutely fine to fall out and come back in, or fall out and rest. You can always come back to this one. And then finding your tree balance for today. Do you want to take the big toe down and just feel that nice bit of support to the lower leg or into the inner thigh? Hands perhaps back in that lotus. It's like you're saving a little space there. Breathe into that space. If you like, raise the arms up. Keep the shoulders really soft. Maybe a focus point for the eyes, another key little point to help with the balance. A couple of breaths here. Strong outer hips. Inhale, spine gets long. Exhale into strength at the abdomen. As you feel ready, bring the arms down. Bring the foot down. Shake it all out. Maybe give the hips a couple of circles in each direction. They work really hard in those balances. And let's just do a nice little forward bend, just to bring us into a feeling of integration and just to give the back a nice release. So feet comfortable width apart. I'm going a bit wider than my shoulders here. Knees soft. If you're comfortable touching the body, you can just slide your hands down your legs till the belly rests on the thighs. Let the arms hang, the head, and just breathe here. Some people like to hold opposite elbows. Another couple of breaths. You can move around, little micro movements to get into any little lines of tension can be nice. And to come up, walk the hands up the legs, keep the knees bent, bring the heart forward and up, Feeling the strength in the abdomen and the back to bring you slowly, slowly to stand. And let's just close with a couple of nice breaths together. Inhaling, arms wide. Exhaling down. And one final time. Inhaling up. And exhaling down to the heart. Bowing the head to the heart. Let's close this brief practice together now. Namaste.